Bennett Kessler filed this story, noting that the Los Angeles Times, NBC News, and even the BBC have reported more details on the vandalism and theft of ancient Paiute Indian petroglyphs from an area in the volcanic tablelands north of Bishop. Now, LA Times reporter Louis Sahagan wrote that at least 4 petroglyphs were cut out of the rock and stolen, and dozens of others were scarred by, quote, hammer strikes and saw cuts, end quote. The Times story says it was visitors who found the vandalism and reported it to the BLM. Now, according to the LA Times, the thieves used ladders, electric generators, and power saws to steal the ancient art. The story says they, quote, gouged holes in the rock and sheared off slabs that were up to 15 feet above ground and 2 feet high and wide. Now, the petroglyphs and the entire area are sacred to the Paiute tribe. On the BBC News website, NBC News US spoke to Raymond Andrews, the Bishop Paiute Tribal Historic Preservation Officer, about the petroglyphs. Andrews said that the ancestors, quote, etched messages in them, so they are sacred. People go and pray to them and try to seek guidance, said Andrews. Now, the story quotes BLM archaeologist Greg Haverstock as saying that there is an illicit market for any archaeological relic, but he estimated the dollar value between $500 and $1,500. Now, Raymond Andrews was also quoted as saying, quote, like other indigenous groups, we believe in karma. Something is going to happen. We can try to investigate, but some things are out of our hands, end quote. Now, in Bishop, BLM has stepped up surveillance of the area and offered a $1,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of the thieves. You can call for more information at 760-937-0301. Well, a nice ceremony was held recently at Mammoth Hospital. Charlotte Thompson was bestowed with a Daisy Award. Now, the primary mission of the Daisy Foundation is to express profound gratitude to nurses for the work that they do for patients and their families every day. Sierra Wave Media's Cleland Hoff was at Mammoth Hospital.
Hi, I'm Kathleen Alo. I'm the Chief Nursing Officer at Mammoth Hospital. Today we're celebrating our very first Daisy Award. The Daisy Award Foundation was started 10 years ago by a family who was so touched by the care that their son attained while in the hospital. Daisy stands for the diseases that attack the immune system. The Daisy Foundation went worldwide 7 years ago and now has over 1,000 hospitals participating in the ceremonies. Recognition of nursing care is so very important to us at Mammoth Hospital and is part of our journey of the Pathways to Excellence program. We hope that today we will recognize and award our first Daisy Award winner, along with 13 other nominees. These people are nominated by their friends, by patients, by their co-workers, and by physicians. Mammoth Hospital is proud to be a member of the Daisy Foundation and is committed to recognizing our nursing staff for the outstanding, extraordinary care they deliver. Thank you.
So do we know who this is?
Our Daisy Award winner for fall of 2012, Aunt Charlotte Thompson. We felt that Charlotte's nominee, who wrote Charlotte's form, really epitomized what Daisy is all about. All of the special qualities that it takes above and beyond the clinical knowledge, and all the care, and how Charlotte can make a pap smear happy for people. is a great honor.
It is an honor.
And so, lifetime achievement. We're proud to have you be our first award winner. We look forward to having more of you. These sculptures will all sort of look the same, but since they're handmade, they're going to be all a little bit different.
They're beautiful.
The Daisy Award is our first requirement of the Pathways to Excellence program, and that is recognizing nurses in your institution. And I think Charlotte is a role model for all of us.
I am very humbled, and I am very honored. I'm very beklemd to be a part of this with everybody in this room and all the nurses in this hospital. As I'm sure most of you know, I've worked in different units. Women's health care and OB is my passion. And I'm just extremely humbled to be a part of this. Everybody in this room deserves it. Truly.
Just doing your job.
I don't think I'll ever say that again. So I thank everybody. Kara, thank you so much. It was a pleasure every single time.
Well, that was a nice ceremony, and we sure thank Cleland Hoff for her video on that. Pal Chris Replogle for his video editing, and congratulate Charlotte Thompson. Well, some good news for people in the Eastern Sierra as the State Air Board Monday ruled against the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power in that Owens Lake appeal. Now, a press release from the Great Basin Air Pollution Control District officer Ted Shady states that in a long-awaited decision, the California Air Resources Board ruled that the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power is required to construct additional air pollution controls on the dried Owens Lake bed. The LADWP had opposed existing federal, state, and local air pollution control laws because of the cost of the required controls. Now, the press release goes on to state that LA's DWP's water diversions from the Eastern Sierra caused the Owens Lake bed to go dry, creating the largest single source of fine particulate matter air pollution in the country. Now, particulate air emissions are a danger to human health and the environment. The particulates lodge deep in the lungs, causing respiratory injuries and additional risk to children and the elderly. Over the past year, LADWP's operations have created dust storms exceeding the federal standards on 25 separate days, resulting in the issuance of local health alerts. Now, in late 2011, the press release goes on to state that the agency responsible for enforcing the law, that's the Great Basin Unified Air Pollution Control District, determined that an additional 2.86 square miles of the Owens Lake bed require dust controls in order to meet air quality standards in the Owens Valley. Now, the LADWP appealed Great Basin's determination to the State Air Board, and a hearing was held on the issues in Sacramento last June. The Air Board's decision supporting Great Basin was again released on Monday. Now, Ted Shady, again, he is the Great Basin Air Pollution Control District officer. He said, quote, "The State Air Board found in favor of Great Basin on every one of the issues, having across-the-board support from the premier technical and legal air quality organization in the state is very gratifying. The ARB spent an entire year carefully evaluating all the LADWP's objections and found no grounds for the LADWP's claims that no additional controls are required. Great Basin encourages LADWP to move forward immediately to protect the air quality of the Owens Valley," air quote. And again, that was from Ted Shady. Lieutenant Kessler filed this report. Some services for senior citizens in the area remain in kind of a transition. The Ombudsman program looks like it will switch to an in-house Inyo County program, and the senior legal program may go to an out-of-town lawyer. Now, the Ombudsman Advocacy Services have operated a volunteer program with a director to officially advocate and help those in long-term care facilities in Inyo and Mono County. Now, recently, the Inyo County contract for these services went out for requests for qualifications and an award. California Indian Legal Services in Bishop won the contract over the long-time Ombudsman Services Group. Now, that group appealed to the State of California Health Department, which then ordered Inyo County to go back out to bid with more refined requirements. Now, Inyo Health and Human Services Director Jean Turner recommended to the Inyo County Board of Supervisors that she could create an in-house ombudsman program. The supervisors asked her to come back with a plan. Turner said that the ombudsman program requires volunteers. She said that there will be training for volunteers who can then serve more than the ombudsman services. Now, Turner said, for instance, the volunteers could serve as backup for delivery of meals and as home visitors to keep track of the elderly, as they may have more needs over time. Now, Turner also said that possibly some contractors currently involved may play a part. Meanwhile, the current ombudsman program will continue to function through March. Now, another senior citizen service, the Senior Legal Program, still goes through changes. California Indian Legal Service, in conjunction with Inyo County, has long provided senior citizen assistance on many issues through paralegal Jennifer Duncan. Now, when Duncan, who also sits on the Senior Advisory Council to the Board of Supervisors, spoke in a public comment session about the growing funding needs for the Senior Legal Program, Inyo County Counsel Randy Keller called it a conflict of interest, which disqualified the California Indian Legal Service from getting the funding for the program. Now, Keller admitted it seemed like a technicality, but said the state conflict of interest law is strict and doesn't allow an advisory council member to also advocate for funding his or her own program. Now, Keller said he knows Ms. Duncan did not intend to create a conflict. CILS appealed this decision, but the Board of Supervisors sided with their county council. So the longtime service, as it was for many years, has ended. An attorney or legal person from out of the area has submitted a bid and was the only bidder.